Hey everyone. Welcome back to another session of Learn English with Real Conversations. I'm Anna, and as always, I'm here with my friend, Puck.
Hey everyone, so good to see you all again. I have a feeling today's episode is going to hit close to home for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Puck, you know how sometimes you just can't stop thinking? Like your brain goes on a little marathon all by itself, and you can't hit pause.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. It's like my thoughts have their own little racetrack and I'm stuck on the sidelines watching the chaos.
Yes, and that's exactly what today's topic is about, overthinking. We're going to talk about how to discuss overthinking, how it feels, and most importantly, how to find inner peace. And we'll do all of that in English so you can practice with us.
Before we dive in, I want to ask, how many times have you stayed awake at night just thinking about that one conversation you had or that one decision you made, replaying it over and over?
Oh, too many times. And I'm guessing a lot of our listeners can relate. So let's break it down today. First, we'll talk about what overthinking really means in English for our learners. Puck, how would you explain it?
Hmm. Overthinking is when you think too much about something, especially problems or decisions, to the point where it can make you feel worried, stressed, or stuck. It's when your mind is constantly spinning ideas or what ifs without taking action.
Perfect. And here's a little tip for our learners. The verb to overthink is very useful in daily English. You can say, I'm overthinking this situation, or stop overthinking and just decide. Notice how we use it to describe our own actions, too.
Right, and there's a subtle difference between thinking and overthinking. Thinking is productive, it helps you plan and solve problems. Overthinking, however, traps you in a loop, like you're running the same movie in your head again and again.
Exactly. And here's a real life example. Yesterday, I spent 30 minutes thinking about what I should wear to a friend's party. By the end, I had tried on 5 outfits and still wasn't happy. That's classic overthinking. Yes, that's such a good example. And speaking of casual English, here's a phrase you can use when you notice someone overthinking. Don't sweat it. It means don't worry so much. You can say, hey, don't sweat it. Just make a choice and move on.
I love that one. Another tip for our learners, idioms like going in circles are perfect for describing overthinking. For example, I feel like I'm going in circles with this problem. It paints a clear picture that your thoughts are spinning without progress.
Okay, so we've defined overthinking and shared some expressions, but now let's talk about inner peace, because it's not just about identifying overthinking, it's about calming your mind. Puck, how would you describe inner peace?
Inner peace is a state of being calm and relaxed inside, even if life outside is hectic. It's that feeling where your thoughts don't control you and you feel balanced and focused. In English, you can describe it as feeling at peace or finding your calm.
Beautiful. And the key really is to notice when you're overthinking and gently shift toward calmness. Here's a strategy I use. Take a deep breath and say, I can't control everything. I'll focus on what I can. That simple phrase in English not only helps your mood, but also practices your speaking skills.
Yes, and let's highlight that as our first keynote. Notice your overthinking and use a grounding phrase in English to regain calmness. It's practical for learners and life at the same time.
Absolutely. And another practical exercise, write down your thoughts in a journal. Not only does it help organize your mind, but it's also a fantastic way to practice English writing. You can write sentences like, I overthought today about, and I feel calmer when.
And that leads us to our second keynote. Expressing your thoughts in English, whether by speaking or writing, can help reduce mental clutter and improve language skills. It's a double win.
Exactly. Now, let's make this interactive for our listeners. I want you to pause the video for a moment and try this. Think of one thing that's been overthinking in your life. Then say out loud in English, I am overthinking about blank, but I choose to focus on what I can control. Go ahead. I'll wait. Pause for 10 seconds for practice.
How did that feel? A little strange, maybe, but also freeing? That's the power of speaking your thoughts in English. It organizes your mind and your language skills simultaneously.
Yes, and here's our third keynote. Using English to verbalize your emotions not only improves your fluency, but also helps manage stress and overthinking.
Now, Anna, here's something I love talking about: habits that increase inner peace. Small daily habits like meditation, mindful walks, or even listening to calming music can reduce overthinking significantly.
Absolutely. And in English, you can describe these habits with phrases like, I make it a habit to, or I take 5 minutes each day to. For example, I take 5 minutes each morning to meditate, and it helps me find inner peace.
Perfect. And for our learners, notice how the verb take is used. It's very versatile. Take a break, take a walk, take time for yourself. All these are very natural in everyday English.
Yes, and that brings us to our fourth keynote. Small, consistent actions in English, both spoken and lived, can create lasting inner peace and improve language fluency.
Now, Anna, have you ever noticed that overthinking sometimes comes from comparing yourself to others?
Oh, all the time. It's like you see someone else's success and immediately start thinking, am I doing enough? Should I be doing this differently? That's classic overthinking fueled by comparison.
Exactly. And here's a useful English expression: don't compare apples to oranges. It means don't compare two very different things because it can cause unnecessary stress.
Yes. So instead of comparing yourself, focus on your journey. And you can say in English, I am focusing on my own progress, not on others. Simple, empowering, and practical.
And that's our fifth keynote. Shift your focus from comparison to self-growth and use positive English phrases to reinforce calm and confidence.
Wow, we've covered so much already, and we're just getting started. But I love that we're not only teaching English, but also giving tools to manage overthinking and cultivate inner peace. All right, let's keep going. Puck, earlier you mentioned habits that bring inner peace, and I want to stay there for a moment. Because one thing I've noticed is that overthinking often shows up when we're tired or emotionally drained.
That's such an important point. When I'm exhausted, my brain becomes dramatic. A small issue suddenly feels like a huge problem, and then the overthinking starts creeping in.
Yes, and that's a great phrase for learners, creeping in. You can say negative thoughts are creeping in, meaning they're slowly entering your mind without you noticing at first.
Exactly, and once they creep in, if you're not careful, they take over the whole conversation in your head. You start thinking things like, what if I fail? Or what if I said the wrong thing?
Let's pause here and talk about those what if thoughts. In English, what if is extremely common when talking about anxiety and overthinking. For example, what if I make a mistake? Or what if people judge me?
And here's something powerful. You can gently challenge those thoughts in English. You can respond with, but what if it goes well? That simple shift changes the emotional direction of your thinking.
I love that. And listeners, I want you to try this with us. Think of one what if thought you've had recently. Now, say it out loud in English. Then respond with, but what if it works out?
That's a very practical exercise. And notice how speaking it out loud gives you a bit of distance from the thought. It's no longer trapped inside your head.
Exactly. And here's something personal. A few years ago, I used to overthink every social interaction. After meeting someone new, I'd replay the conversation in my head and analyze every sentence.
Oh, wow, me too. Especially after group conversations. I'd think, did I talk too much or did that joke land?
Yes, did that joke land? That's a very natural English phrase. It means, did people understand it and find it funny?
And most of the time, the answer didn't matter. People weren't thinking about it nearly as much as I was.
That realization was huge for me. I started reminding myself, other people are busy thinking about themselves. And honestly, that brought me a lot of peace.
That sentence alone is very useful English. I remind myself that. It's a phrase you can use to calm your thoughts. For example, I remind myself that mistakes are normal.
Let's build on that. Listeners, repeat after me. I remind myself that it's okay to be imperfect.
And here's another. I remind myself that I am learning. This one is especially important for English learners who overthink their mistakes.
Yes, because language learning itself can trigger overthinking. You worry about grammar, pronunciation, accent, everything at once.
Absolutely. And here's an idiom that fits perfectly. Don't be so hard on yourself. It means don't judge yourself too harshly.
That's a beautiful phrase. And when you're learning English, inner peace comes from accepting progress, not perfection.
Let me share a story. When I was learning a second language, I once completely mixed up two words and said something embarrassing. I wanted to disappear.
Oh no.
But the native speakers just laughed kindly and said, "It's okay." And later, that mistake became the sentence I never forgot. It helped me learn faster.
That's such an important lesson. Mistakes feel big in our minds, but in real life, they're often moments of connection.
Exactly. And this leads us to another powerful idea. Overthinking often comes from taking everything personally.
Yes, in English, you can say, I take things too personally. That means you feel deeply affected by things that may not be about you.
And a calming response is, it's not personal. Saying that to yourself can immediately reduce emotional tension.
Listeners, try this sentence. I don't need to take everything personally. Say it slowly.
Now, let's talk about silence. Silence is something many people fear, especially in conversations.
Oh, yes, silence can trigger overthinking fast. You start thinking, did I say something wrong? Or is this awkward?
But silence is actually very natural. In English-speaking cultures, silence doesn't always mean something is wrong. Sometimes it just means people are thinking.
That's such a good point. And here's a comforting sentence you can use internally. Silence is okay.
Even better, I don't need to fill every silence. That sentence alone can reduce a lot of anxiety.
Let's pause for a short breathing moment. Wherever you are, take a slow breath in and out. And as you breathe out, say quietly, I'm okay right now.
That's inner peace in action. Simple, gentle, and present.
Now, Puck, I want to ask you something deeper. When you overthink, what emotion is usually underneath it?
That's a good question. I think for me it's fear. Fear of making the wrong choice. Fear of disappointing people.
That's very honest. And for our learners, notice how we express that. Fear of plus verb ending in ing. Fear of failing. Fear of being judged.
And once you name the fear, it loses some power. You can say, I'm afraid of failing, but I'm still moving forward.
That but is important. It shows courage and balance.
Exactly. Overthinking tells you to stop. Inner peace tells you to continue calmly.
I love that. And listeners, remember, inner peace doesn't mean no thoughts. It means you're not fighting your thoughts.
Yes, thoughts come and go. You don't have to chase every one of them.
There's a lovely expression for that. Let it go. Very simple English, but very powerful.
And you can use it in many situations. I'm choosing to let it go.
As we continue, we're going to explore how to talk about boundaries, rest, and self-kindness in English, because all of these reduce overthinking.
And we'll also practice more real-life sentences you can use immediately.
So stay with us. If you're listening right now and thinking, this feels familiar, just know you're not alone.
And you're doing better than you think.